Nox showing up first? That's new. Hello, Nox. Hello, Jindra. How is the two of yous? Okays? That's good. I am feeling better okay, but also, like, still dealing with crap okay, but I'm okay. Trying to get your daily dungeon done so you can switch games. In WoW? Is it in WoW? It's in WoW, isn't it? Maybe. Then that's the answer. You don't gotta lie about it. I figured I would go ahead and jump in Final Fantasy XIV and hang out tonight. 1/12 of the way through Final Fantasy IV: The After Years. Sweet Jesus, the fuck they do with that game? It is at least triple the length of Final Fantasy IV. That is impressive. Okay. Retainer mischief dealt with. I have not been to my island in forever. I'm pretty sure all of my animals are dead. The crops are, like, rotting. And it is a deserted wasteland as the mammoths have not been maintained. Thinking of switching to Yakuza 4. Fierce or Valkyria Chronicles. Well, don't switch to that last one, whatever you do. I was going to say, I have a bias towards which one you should pick. And then I saw Valkyria Chronicles, I'm like, don't pick that one. Don't do it. There's about a 3-hour section for each of the playable characters in Final Fantasy IV. Then the prelude to the finale, and then the finale. Jesus. Mother Hubbard Christ. That is crazy. Ooh, also, I has great big firebird. Fear me, for I am the ultimate Final Fantasy XIV player, clearly. Is this what's in demand? Sure feckin' is. I'd also vote against switching to Fierce. It's just not a good game. I veto that statement. I thought it was fine. It's not as good as Sophie, but I thought it was fine. Like, it's an Atelier game based on the Sophie stuff. It's not that bad. Cut it some slack. Like, Nox shouldn't just play nothing but Yakuza. Unless he really wants to. Hey, you'd think for a roll in demand you'd get an insta-queue, but no, apparently not. I do suppose I can go to Thavnair and do some, or at least attempt to start some tribal quests. Or not! Of course, the second I want to try to do anything, game's like, okay, we're ready. Dick. Well, this is my expert of the day, alright. Well, I thought I liked Viera before. Oh shit, that is like a minimum height Viera, I think. Yeah, maybe. They're a full head taller than Mana. Oh god, I have been playing too much Astrologian because I looked at this team comp, I'm like, alright, which DPS do I have to focus on giving the melee-centric cards, and which DPS do I have to focus on giving the range-centric cards? It's like, Mana, you're a warrior, you don't have to worry about that. Stop! I did not hit one of them. I apparently don't have fucking tank stance on. Nope. Nope. You get your asses back here. Will you stop running around in a fucking panic and let me grab them? Mobby! We learn the hard and fast way, or we don't learn at all. It's the same philosophy of go big or go home. They are adamant about doing DPS on that one enemy. Look, fine, that's one less enemy I have to deal with, but like my sister or brother in Heidelin, it's fine. Like, you don't have to fucking DPS them as we run. Also, Final Fantasy IV, after years, Mario, you're going to be starting Yang's story as the 4 best physical punchers and the best dedicated puncher. Why am I not surprised that the guy who is known about throwing a spoon is, like, the best at that? And is paired up with the best of the best at that? I still think it's hilarious that the knife does 9,999 damage. Suplex the train. Wrong game. Well, I suppose in this game it's technically correct. Yeah. Yang also isn't the best AK puncher. His daughter is. I mean, that shouldn't surprise you, though. So often in, like, so much story writing, the children tend to surpass their, like, parents. Because the parents carved the way, so they immediately knew how to teach their kids how to do the exact same things that they did. Sad thing is, that very much isn't true in this game. Wait, really? So, his daughter didn't learn under him. I see. Like, Ursula is the only successor who clearly outperforms the previous generation. Wait, no, that's what I said, though. Because she's outperforming her father. She's the next generation outperforming the previous generation. That's what I said. Y'all make me sad. Y'all make me sad to call myself a DPS. She's the exception to the pattern to everyone else in the game. No. I feel like the lead was buried there. Let's see. Okay, over here's the safe zone. Oh, you bennied yourself. I too can heal. Don't worry, White Mage, I got this. I still think that's fucking hysterical that the warrior can heal other people, seemingly just by shouting at them. Like, I'm damaged, and the warrior's like, hang on, I got this. Whoa! And they're like, Jesus Christ! Huh. Well, it seems I've been sutured. My apologies. I definitely know I clipped the mic. Or rather, peaked it. Oh, God. Yep, I knew that was going to hit me no matter what. You're on your own, healer. I popped my thing for myself. I don't actually know if I still need that, but, like, we're gonna pretend like I do. Although, actually, I could have checked. Oops. What's mine now? Tenketsu, her version of Focus, only does 1.5 times damage. Also has a 30% chance to ignore defense, or count as a magic attack on the enemy's weakness, or just a crit for an extra times 2 damage, and a 10% chance to just cause instant death. Always does one of the effects. You make me sad to consider myself a DPS. You wasted that. I'm not fucking stopping. We're pulling big. Seriously. Like, Christ, did Summoner become so brain dead to play that people are literally over here like, ah, yes, you know what I shall do? Just fucking ignore all etiquette. Anyway, my ramblings and bitching and moaning aside. Because, like, it's fine, technically. Also, why aren't people actually focusing the thing spawning more enemies? Hello? Anyway. Oops, don't turn off the fucking tank stance, mate. You know, if you don't want to be fucking punched, maybe stand next to the tank. Just a suggestion that I'm making to my audience instead of you. I don't know, man. We go over this every fucking time I play Final Fantasy XIV, but etiquette. Etiquette is like goddamn king or queen. Royal. It's royal in this game. A bunch of flan and do full or better damage. Yeah, can being the operative term here. Our other commands are kick and chakra, single target cure 2, with the package Ezina. So, one of the better chakras, then. Also, probably the part where, like, that started being normalized in a monk's kit, if I had to guess. Yeah, after the white mage starts popping Holy 4, we're fine. Also, the fact that Holy 4 exists, which would be Holyja, implies that there is a Holy Ra and a Holy Ga. Which is terrifying. It's like, I thought Holy was the ultimate white magic spell. How the fuck can it get any better? Really, they should call it Dia at that point. Except the thing is that they already have a Dia spell. So they have both Holy 4 and I think it's Dia 4. Like, I can swap to my white mage after this and show you, even. So they have super powerful light spell. And, like, motherfucking King of Kings, Queen of Queens, the most royal of royal holies. Like, it's silly. Jeez. You're telling me. And the Astrologian just casually has like Gravity 4 and Fall Malefic. Like Square Enix created the DL line to have a lower power light magic. Except it showed up in like the first game and then didn't show up until like Final Fantasy 3 maybe. Like it appeared and then suddenly disappeared. Because frankly, that was turn undead. Because it only affected undead characters at the time. So I mean, really, I'd argue that's not a lower level, like, white magic, like light magic spell. That's just turn undead. There's a bit of a difference. Also, it wasn't called Dia. I think it was called Anti. Nope. It was called Dia. Maybe not in the original US NES release, but it was definitely called Dia. First time playing in like 8 months. That's cool and all. Keep up. And just rough to get back into. I don't know what that's like. Wouldn't know what that's like. Very different spell from what would show up in later games under Dia. Yeah, very much so. Because I know in later games, Dia actually becomes a relevant and useful, like, white magic spell. When it does show up. It's inconsistent at best when it does show up. It's basically fire, but light element. Yeah, which white mages get. Which, for some weird reason, they don't want white mages to know how to fight back. And then I look at Final Fantasy X, I'm like, Lulu is the worst goddamn black mage this side of history. The only reason she's even remotely relevant is how the fucking, like, multiplier system and weakness system in Final Fantasy X works. Otherwise, Yuna is a better black mage than her, provided you can get her any black magic spells. Because, surprise, when you roll everything to scale on the same stat, things get a little hairy. And her multicast limit break. Look, that's just a more advanced form of Quadra. I don't count that shenanigans. Because a lot of things don't like flare times 10. You're not wrong, but it randomly targets. Oh, right. Ninja has that cutscene. Still, her fucking magic stat is kind of garbo. You either have to take her down Yuna's tree to get magic stat worth a damn, or you have to just teach Yuna black magic spells, which would be easier. Well, arguably easier anyway. Considering the number of utility spheres in Final Fantasy X that let you do just that. Like, don't get me wrong. On a single target, that limit break is bonkers useful. But when you have 5 targets you're fighting, I forget if there's any stat difference between characters if you full max the sphere grid for everyone. I believe they would be slight. Like, characters technically have base stats in Final Fantasy X. And, like, it's noticeable, too. So, like, no matter how much attack you give Lulu, she's still gonna kind of be shit at physical attacks, because her base physical stat is just not good. It's noticeable over a normal playthrough. Well, yes. Highland Green. Though even if you spent all that time to get every person, every single sphere on a sphere grid, like, one, you're nuts, and two, and more importantly, I do still think you will see noticeable differences between the characters. Even if, by that point in the game, they are minuscule. Over a max playthrough, even with break damage limit, you can still hit damage cap. Aha. Oops. We got another one to pop. Yeah, I really think the only true time in which, if you leveled up everything across everybody, and they are the exact same, really happens in Final Fantasy XII. And I'm talking before the re-release, the international release. Because I think in that game, like, even the base stats don't differ enough if you just max out everybody's license board, since they are the exact same. I think maybe you'll see some differences in HP and MP limits, but I think that's really about it. And then we don't talk about Final Fantasy XI because, sweet Jesus, an MMORPG. It also happens in Final Fantasy X too, where outside of certain costumes, and even then only in the HD re-releases, the characters are identical. Which I feel works fine in a 3-character party to, like, let the player experiment freely and with little risk. I would imagine they still have slightly different base stats. And since, you know, they're your only 3 party members, allowing the player to break them all in the same way to then make the game bend to their will is kind of fun in and of itself. Completely identical. They have the same base stats and everything? Jesus. Then, yeah, it very much boils down to how the player wants to use the job system, or the dress spheres, rather. Difference in dress spheres, jobs, costumes is only in the skills. I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, legitimately speaking, it's reductive to state this because we are ignoring the differences in stats. in Final Fantasy V. But that's ultimately how it works in Final Fantasy V as well. Barring the stat changes, the only differences between the jobs are what they can do. That's why you can, like, level up certain levels, then switch to Freelancer, and then suddenly shenanigans. But that's being incredibly reductive and not being fair. Because again, the one thing we have to blindly look away from to even make it remotely similar is how the stats change from job to job. When they're functionally different between the gals aren't different in stats but skills. Oh, you conveyed that badly. Okay. Gotcha. I really should play Final Fantasy X-2 at some point. I mean, I also want to actually play through Final Fantasy X International version because that includes, like, some extra challenges that I didn't get in the original PlayStation 2 version, like Dark Aeons, for one. Like, those would have been fun little optional boss fights. I am not that interested in the super bosses in Final Fantasy X, because, like, have you played Final Fantasy X? Shit's rough sometimes. Like, you have to min-max just for certain regular fights and for the end game. How do you expect me to min-max against a boss? No thanks. Or rather, a super boss. God, beating Ultima Weapon in fucking Final Fantasy X was also a pain in my ass. Min-max. Oh, shush. I was like 15 tops when I finally beat that game. I had the patience of a raisin, which is to say non-existent, because I don't believe a raisin has patience. And I liked the story at that age, but I was also one that was like, I don't know, I think I looked at the way the turn-based system worked, and I was like, this is too different from Final Fantasy VII. I was that weird kid. I mean, I also, as was my wont when I was younger, copiously used Tidus's flee command. Final Fantasy X follows a similar design philosophy to Final Fantasy IV DS, of giving the player more tools, but then also asking to use more of them, which is fine and fair, and that's why I want to play through Final Fantasy X International and, like, beat it and see what there is to see. Because I think, one, the fan base considers that the definitive edition of the game. Two, and more importantly to me, is that, like, dude, I really ought to give Final Fantasy X that fair shake where I'm not being a goddamn coward and running away from every fucking fight. Ugh. Oh boy, is that design philosophy as well. Honestly, I think that's a solid design philosophy. If the player has more tools, the game should expect them to use at least most of them. Don't get me wrong, Disgaea has a shitload of tools and does not expect the player to use even half of them to beat the game. But, like, it still offers them, and the player can have a much easier time in Disgaea if they choose to use them. Just don't try to do all the side stuffs, but maybe look up a guy on finding dress spheres and sphere grids. Oh, 10-2 is that design philosophy. You dropped a 10-2 in that. Yes, you did. Like, for 10-2, I would look up a guide just so I don't have to fucking crash my head against a wall for the true ending. That's what I would do for 10-2. Because I know that game has a true ending, and I know it's basically speedrun the goddamn game. God, who thought it was a good idea to make it so to get the true ending to a fucking RPG, you had to play it quickly? You're smashing your head against a guide for the true ending. Yeah, I'm aware. Like, whoever thought it was a great idea to make it so the player had to go through a game quickly to get the true ending is a fucking sadist. Well, specifically an RPG. It doesn't even have to be a JRPG. And it's not quickly, it's 100%ly. I thought there was some element in which you had to go through the game quickly, but the fact that it's tied behind completionist is just... I mean, alright, fair. That happens in a lot of other games, but really? Come on, it's an RPG. Make it so it's tied specifically to a particular set of quests. Like, damn. Damn, fam. He's mastering most of the mini games, which I have heard is hellish. Leveling roulette, boop boop, ba da boop. Oh God. Don't mind me, I'm just going to be bored this dungeon. This is... I don't even have gravity. Oh God, this is gonna be one of those tanks, isn't it? Oh, good. Neither of you are different functionally as far as my, like, card system works. Also picking the right choices at almost every point in the game. Now that, well, okay. If the game offers a new game plus way to play the game, in which you, the player, can then more appropriately see what the correct choices are because of your first playthrough, that I wouldn't mind so much, provided that the game was not too long. Alright, I'll actually be able to attack then, because they'll be slowed. New Game Plus keeps your completion percentage. Okay. So, 10-2 does have a New Game Plus. That's acceptable. If frustrating. So if you loop, you don't have to redo non-mandatory story stuff. So basically, I mean, really, if you want to look at it this way, first playthrough, do all the non-mandatory story stuff, get it out of the way, while enjoying the core story, and then second playthrough, make all the correct decisions. Get the true ending. You also keep your dress spheres, sphere grids, and the skills learned. I mean, I would expect so, because it's a fucking New Game Plus. If it didn't let me keep those, I would riot. That's not a New Game Plus. That's a new game, but you just don't have to do the boring shit on the side, or the tedious shit on the side. Like, come on. Come on. Think about shit like Chrono Trigger. If that New Game Plus was basically like, oh, well, you don't have to do any of the side quests, but we're still going to reset your magic so you don't have it at the beginning of the game, that wouldn't be half as fun. Like, come the fuck on. Okay, we have to deal with this mechanic. It starts over here. Look at Shimigami Tensei Nocturne, where you keep nothing. Well then, what the fuck do you get in that game? Do you keep, like, the demon library, at least? Or, like, what? Like, do you know which demon combinations go into what? Or is it just straight up like, no, fuck you. You get nothing. Good day, sir. You have to play the game again. You get harder mode, and you get either a leather jacket or pants that give you a minor boost to a stat. Are you fucking serious? That was a well-timed fire, too. Well-timed fire, too, there. That Atlas tends to hate their player base in apparently a good way. I mean, shit, man. Apparently Persona 5 has a proper new game plus. And also the way that Atlas hates their player base in the apparent good way. God, I was going to say Dark Cloud, but that was actually a level 5 game. Wait, nope? What do you mean, nope? But wait, hang on. So, Gerard completing Persona 5, and he does New Game Plus. He doesn't keep all of his demons. Or his personas, rather. You only keep Compendium, complete social link bonuses, and social stat. That's conceivably a New Game Plus. That's a New Game Plus. That one's a believable New Game Plus. Like, you actually keep some of your previous progress in the game. That's a New Game Plus. Now, yes, you do start at level 1 again, which... Grumble, grumble, gripe. Social link progress does reset. Just keep the bonuses you earned. I mean, that's like a perfect opportunity to like play with other like priorities as far as making social links are concerned then. Which is, considering what Persona is about, that's not a bad way to do it. Now, it's not ideal. I would still think you should like have a level boost or get the option to boost your levels. Well, of course, I am always in that mindset of, like, Ratchet and Clank levels of New Game Plus, where you keep everything, and basically you playing through the game again is just you grinding more bolts. And also having a goddamn power fantasy with a level 10 shotgun. Totally not speaking from experience. Even though New Game Plus and Ratchet and Clank does technically artificially increase the stats of the enemies so that way you're not always one-shotting them. Also, I just realized looking at my MP, Jesus. But yeah, no, I think Persona 5's New Game Plus, though not ideal, it constitutes an actual New Game Plus. Shin Megami Tensei's Nocturne does not. Oh, look, I start the game with this gear that slightly boosts one of my stats minorly. That will probably be replaced within the first couple of dungeons. Yay! Slightly easier early game. It's not... Oh, it's a basically permanent cosmetic on your character. Okay, that's mildly different, but still, I don't think that constitutes a good New Game Plus. That I will affectionately call the equivalent of a kick to the nuts New Game Plus. Like, good job, you beat the game. Soak, do it again. It's like, but why? Why would I want to do it again when I don't get anything for it? It's a permanent boost and a cosmetic. So basically, if you have both the jacket and the pants, if you can have both, that just basically tells people that watch you, what you playing that you beat the game at least twice. This is, again, assuming you can get both. You can only have one. Well, nuts to that, then! Why the fuck do I want to play that game twice? Or 3 times, even? Atlas! The fuck, guys? Oh god, dare I? Oh, I am tempted. Oh, I am tempted. I'm doing it! I did it! We go big! We go big! Look, we can't progress until we kill these assholes anyway. May as well. Just force the encounter. Bad etiquette on my part. Bad mana. Don't do it. Plus, we were fine. Better than Persona 2. 2's New Game Plus. When you keep nothing and getting nothing other than the chance to fight the super boss. So your reward for beating the game once is on that file. You can then, like, fight the super boss. Why? What the Hey, Atlas, who hurt you? Look, if you're not gonna let us, like, handle that stupid thing, I'm frankly fine letting it beat you up. Like, you are actually supposed to let the DPS handle that thing. This is one of those instances where people practice being the off-tank. Oh, for the love of God, please. Thank you. People, don't fucking ignore this one. Like, I will actually want to rescue you off a ledge if you leave that thing alive. So don't leave that fucker alive. Y'all, you really don't need to fucking focus the ads like that. And I am now a level 90 astrologian. And that is my last magic class. So I have mastered magic. Hells yeah. Oh, right, White Mage. White Mage... Okay, it's Holy 3. So there's a Holy Ga. And Glare 3, not Glare 4 and Holy 4. Nevertheless... the fact that there is a more ultimate version of the ultimate white magic spell is concerning. But yeah, check this out! All DPS... don't look at Blue Mage... and all healers are now level 90. Oh, I also have to actually equip all my healing gear for Astrologian. All right, give me a minute. I have to use the restroom. I'll be right back. I'm back. I am also getting distracted by Discord. The red number must be purged. There we go. Gotta admit, I don't hate Astrologian. Astrologian's like up there as alongside Sage. If anything, I might say I like it more than White Mage. That said, Astrologian's a hard fucking class. If White Mage is the easiest healer. Scholar, when played properly, I would argue is slightly easier than Astrologian. So really, if you look at it, White Mage is the easy version of Astrologian, and Scholar is the easy version of Sage. And your reward for playing the harder versions? Sage has some extra benefits and different mechanics compared to Scholar, but also still largely relies on off-global cooldowns to do proper healing. And they get benefits for properly shielding. Astrologian can then do shenanigans with damage reduction regens, increasing the damage of the party, and just in general doing all sorts of buffing. So honestly, right now in Final Fantasy XIV, I feel like some love needs to go to especially White Mage, since it's the easiest healer in the game, while also being the least able to do like good DPS compared to the other three. And Scholar could maybe use a little bit of love. I don't know how the fuck Square should handle the fairy. So don't know how they should handle a lot of Scholar's kit, because a lot of Scholar's kit is good, but I think they need a little bit of love so that way they can compete with Kadodra, and I'm a doctor, but people riding around down there. Brand new fancy cash shop mount. Yes. I don't believe I will get enough reputation gain to fall into potential spoiler territory. 180? Yeah, no, we're fine today. But I'm doing the new tribal quests, which are gathering related, and my gatherers are already maxed, so, you know. Actually, on the conversation of Atlas's seeming unwillingness to do a good New Game Plus, outside of maybe Persona as a whole, not including Persona 2. If you've played other games with New Game Pluses, and you have them to compare with one another, which one, in your opinion, has the best? Unfortunately, I have very limited experience in New Game Plus, because really only Ratchet and Clank delivered that to me. Yeah, honestly, for this tribal quest, I'm not showing anything that, like, is really spoilery. Like, shit, you start this tribal quest and you see everything that I basically saw. And also jutted my camera away from things which you could see that requires some actual quest progress. Yeah, thinking about it, my experience is quite limited in... Wait, no, I think Dirge of Cerberus Final Fantasy VII also had a New Game Plus. Yeah, technically it did. Because if you got locked into normal difficulty because you didn't do well in training, Once you beat it on normal difficulty, you could technically take your file, upgrade it to hard difficulty, and play it again, but you had all of your guns and upgrades to those guns unlocked. I also think you retained your level, which was helpful if you were a player that required the extra stats as a crutch. Guided on the way, no time for more. This song's so great. I am telling a dragon about a cafe. Yes. Mwah. Perfect. They will fit right in with the usual clientele of people, and other people. I suppose dragons are also people, so they fit right in perfectly. However, how do they eat? Do we just, like, get a giant bowl and put it in front of them and expect them to eat off the floor like a pet? That seems really derogatory. The alternative is to get a table out and scoot it away from the building, which now they're not sitting with the rest of the guests. Like, come on. Also, without context, like, I can definitely say this whole zone is super pretty. Don't ask me where we currently are, though. That I cannot answer without giving spoilers. Just take the name and leave it at that. What's the name? Well, if I told you, I would have to tell you spoilers. I still very much want that mount. What is that mount? No spoilers. Also, I love the robots basically running a cafe. I've also headcanoned it that the longer they run this cafe, the more that their fucking processors start making them sound less monotone and more friendly. Nothing unusual here. Man, people really like that Dominatrix title, huh? Actually reminds me, I want to check on these. I don't think they're done growing, but they're close. Or it, rather. Nope, still needs time. Oh, on that note, technically, I have started on behalf of the free company for a ruddy, like, crop growing project. And so far, I've kind of been the only one that's been maintaining it. But it's fine. I still don't know what the hell I'm going to do with the end result crops, which are Thavnarian onions. There is a part of me that wants to sell them and then deposit those funds into the free company coffers. There is another part of me that wants to leave them available so people can use Thavnarian onions to increase their Chocobo's level beyond the cap until level 20. And then there's also another part of me that's like, hoard the onions, use them for your own gain. But that's also not reasonable in the slightest. Like, if I want to do that, I should use my own house's plots for that. Alright, that is the 7th. If you were just one over to the right! One over to the right, man! Ugh. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I was afraid of that. Being greedy. Alright, let's beat up good King Mugglemug the 12th. What is that even a reference to? I know this trial was like ad hoc thrown in after the events of a tsunami that hit Japan, but like, this surely is a reference to a specific Mog, right? I believe that is Mugglemug. Oh no. He did not commit seppuku. Or Sudoku, if you rather. But I'm gonna make him. Well, I won't make him. But I'm gonna get him. Also, Jesus, Soken. The hell was up with you in composing that piece? What, you watched The Nightmare Before Christmas beforehand? Why? Ugh. Man. Time to beat a Bifrit. God damn. I actually managed to one-cycle him at one point. And so he wasn't able to get past... He wasn't able to do this. I was actually really impressed, but I guess it was just a bunch of lucky critical hits. Well, I guess I'm doing this the... I mean, this whole situation is unconventional, but you know what I mean. The normal way. Oh my god, brain, what the fuck? Doing this solo made me have a thought. I wonder if anybody's, like, successfully beaten the entirety of Final Fantasy V with only one character. Like, at every opportunity they got, they self-KO'd the other three and then just didn't use things like tents or ins to keep everybody KO'd. Yes! Well, I'm glad that was answered. Come on, two-line, you dick. You selfish, selfish dick. El Magus does one every year as part of the fiesta, complete with random job. Oh, Jesus, what the fuck, man? That is impressive. I'm sure old Greg commends him for his fucking efforts, because damn. Yeah, next one I'm gonna Next class I'm going to level up is going to be Dark Knight. Because the only classes I've got left at this point are Dark Knight, Paladin, and Gunbreaker. Which, those are going to be easy to level up. Like, the philosophies between the three tanks are not that different or difficult to grasp. Here you go, Chloe. How are my tomes looking? I'm almost at cap. Then Gil it is. And grab 50 causality. Level 83, Dark Knight. Damn, I thought for sure I had some gear for level 83. What did I get at level 82 anyway? Anything? Oh, Oblation. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Interesting. Okay. That's wrapped up. I'll look and see what custom deliveries I can do that would give me X. Holy shit, Slowy! Matter which ones I do. Damn. Okay. So Slowy is the only one with the bonus craft. Good thing I'm here. Everybody else is just some variant therein of, like, bonus gathering. Which... yeah, most of them were fish. Kaishir doesn't have anything. Alto wants me to get printing paraphernalia. Charlemont doesn't have anything. And Emilion wants me to get school supply materials. I believe it's going to be quite instant, but we are going to queue up for trials. Nope, wrong person to talk to. You sell stuff to repair my own gear. Items 2. No. Items 1 then. Here it is. I have to multiply this by 4. Quite dumb, honestly. Commence! And let us kick ass. Or, Jesus Christ, the one healer. Oh, really? Really? Alright, I don't fucking respect you enough to let you be main tank. One for the cryptid book. What's that? There goes Garuda. Yes, this one is Minstrel Song. Should do Minstrel Song again, or nope? May as well. I can hit multiple targets. Face away from there. The Reckoning comes. I don't believe I can damage her right now. Looking at that one guy with low health, I'm like, healer, are you gonna heal them, or? Fuck. Okay, off tank. Well, somebody knows what's up. I didn't realize, like, Astrologians qualified for off tanks now. But okay. Look, enough healing will make anyone a tank. You need look no further than the warrior who can heal themselves. I mean that in good jesting fun. Though I suppose you want to get technical with that one. That means they constitute as a healer. Oh gosh, diddly damn. All right. I mean, really, what makes a good tank is having the HP to survive a punch, while also having the capability to, like, self-sustain. Preferably, they should also have the defenses, but if you have enough HP to survive a punch, look, you're golden. That's why HP tanking is a thing. Ooh. Leviathan Remix. I'll main tank, because I don't... Considering this guy's watching a cutscene, I don't know if he knows all the mechanics. And one of them is a laser beam that you don't want the fucking party to take. Dude. We are not fucking doing this. One... Nope, that's mine. You can fuck off. Like now, levels of fuck off. Like, you don't get to watch cutscene and then expect me to think that you know what you're doing. They're also a bad gunbreaker, because if they were good, they'd be able to rip this from me. stand with everybody. I thought we were doing other mechanics. Yep. Ah, right. Will they get up in time? A little late, but that was the right thing to use. We got what? Okay, no, wrong phasing. Do that so we can stall and use this instead. Which one I get? Splashing waters. Splashing tsunami will occur. Nope. You stand right there. Okay. Minus to get out of the circle. Then another pushback. Tidal roar. Yeah, I know I'm not playing this optimally. Okay. Now for the not fun part. Okay. No, don't go over there. Ha! Leviathan's pretty adamant about us not being over there. Okay. Another tidal wave. This one we don't want to be moved. I popped my... Oh, nope. Popped it just in time. Man, some people need to fucking, like, look up... Pulse. Lucky position. I was gonna say, I believe Leviathan always follows up with the other side. I have learned the hard way on stream to not just rush to close the gap. Leviathan just doesn't want me to live with the cool kids. Every time it uses Rip Current, that's all I can really think of. It's like, Leviathan just doesn't want me to exist with everybody else who are cool. There's the Quake. we go. Is it the right one? I believe the right one has the chance to drop the Orchestron roll. Just in case. Nope. I'll stay behind. That way I don't accidentally slate these onto everybody else who doesn't want them. Okay, it's all been rolled on. And yeah, I know I may have hogged that, like, fight from my off-tank, but I based my actions on the fact that they stuck around and watched cutscene. No, nobody does that. That is grounds for concern. Like, to me that reads, this is my first time. Which, there's enough shit in that fight that's complicated as is for the main tank, even in the normal. Namely, the don't point the laser beam at the party tank buster that, I just wasn't about to let somebody else ruin everybody else's fun. Though they seem to be competently, like, tanking on the other side, so perhaps they already knew about it. Nevertheless. Here's Loey. Now give me money. Money! Oh, God. Oh, my God. Wow! I'm almost capped on purple? What do I use purple crafter script on? I don't know, actually. I think I can get, like, high tier material with it, but, like, what else is there to get? Oh, I can't get materia. I can only get level 90 materials. Glass scallop, subtle cinnamon sticks, white peach, giant pumpkins, butterbeef, king urchin, a thundermelon. What? I'm sorry. Why? I heard of thunder thighs, but thundermelon? A pianola tomato, a sunset carrot, prime loden rump, and this is where you get immutable solutions. Yeah, okay, so I see. In order to make like half of this shit that's even worthwhile, I need immutable solutions. I was wondering where you can get these. Can I make these? That is a fat no. All right, found what I'm spending my shit on. Wait. Just how much of these do I need for each of these? 2 per secondary tool. What about primary tool? 2 for primary tool. Does all make gear? It also makes gear. 2 for gear. Because Pact Makers is my next upgrade for crafting and gathering. So if it requires 2 each, was that even a Yeah, it's looking at primary. What about secondary? 1. Okay. So that means pants and chest. Pants and chest take 2. Primary and secondary tools take 2. All other, like, wearables, that being the hat, the gloves, and the boots, would take 1. So then, doing some quick maths, 8 plus 6 is 14. There's only 1 primary tool for Fisher, so just count that 2. We have 20. We have 8 for the other 2 gatherers for primary tools. 28. Then across all crafters, we also have another 8 times 2 is 16. So I would require 44 immutable solution in order to make the tools and the left side of the equipment screen for all crafters and all gatherers. Okay. Just so it works out in my brain, let's only buy 30 then. This means I would require another 6, if my math was right. No, another 8. Okay. Although the trouble is with any of those specific crafts, considering their master recipe, we are looking at, considering I barely have enough stats to actually accomplish this, I would want everything that can be high qualityable to be high quality before making this craft. And also to be fooded up and with a potion. Hilariously, the one time I made a friend of mine a better piece of gear, we were in voice call together, and I told him I must sound like Ainz the way I'm talking about crafting, about all this preparatory shit I have to do, and like all these actions I'm taking. Food improves crafting ability? Yes, food. There is food that improves crafting ability. I have some in my inventory even. And it is required if you want to make high quality crafts. Reliably, I should say. Yeah, so this increases craftsmanship by 15%, a maximum of 40. It's a very low item level item. That's why it's such a tiny stat improvement. But this is a good example. Blood Boulabaz. I'm sure I butchered that. CP plus 26%. This resource here that I need in order to cast my abilities that aren't my basic synthesis, it can increase it up to 66 and increases my control, which is the stat used to improve my odds of high quality unless I like max out the quality bar, which then just guarantees high quality. It increases that stat. There's food that improves your gathering skills too. Making good stuff is much less reliable than in Sophie. No. Technically, no. You can absolutely reliably make good stuff. You just need food. Now, if you're going to try to reliably make good stuff with without high quality materials, then it becomes a lot less reliable. I would also down either the Commanding Craftsman's Drought or some Cunning Craftsman's Syrup. One of the two. Or Commanding Craftsman Syrup, which increases my control. Max 40, max 50. Oh, I do drop then, rather than syrup. Like with the right food and this medicine, with the right medicine, like you can guarantee high quality crafts at the maximum level. Anything below my maximum level, like especially at 10 levels or lower, I just guarantee make it high quality. Anything between the ranges of 81 to base non-master recipe level 90, I can reliably make high quality without food buffs. Once we get into the master recipes, then I need food buffs. Then I need medicine. Otherwise, I cannot make them high quality reliably. I would also require high quality materials. Now, if we want to talk about the history of Final Fantasy XIV crafting method, and you want to ask me even 3 years ago about making good stuff being much less reliable than Sophie, then I would absolutely say yes. And the reason I say that is because as far back as Stormblood, this skill right here, basic synthesis, had a 90% success rate. Basic touch also had a 90% success rate. Anything that is guaranteed these days used to have a chance of failure except careful, which even back then required CP to use. Yeah, that is the appropriate reaction. So, not only did you have a 10% chance of just wasting a step, you also had a 10% chance at the lowest possible durability of your craft when it is one, even just as little as one progress away from finishing, to just botch the whole thing and ruin your materials. And there are people that I used to talk to, and I'm not really on talking terms with anymore for a number of reasons, that still think that back then was better than it is today. Because the market board is flooded with high quality crafts when I look at them and I say, you're fucking nuts. The difference between back then and today was luck. And I will die on that fucking hill. It's still better in the OG Phantasy Star Online 2 gear grinding system. Oh yes, I believe we've talked about that at least a little bit in length. And like, I don't doubt it. Nevertheless, Final Fantasy XIV's crafting system, when it was starting, was awful. And I had the displeasure of playing with it for a time. Now, I fucking love the crafting system. It is incredibly approachable, is super friendly, and if you actually know what you're doing, you don't need to wait for people to publish macros in order to, like, do mastercrafts. You can figure it out by yourself. That said, that is the exact reason why those people said it's so easy, is because there are better and more resources to make it easier. Because people do the research themselves and then post their findings online. You know, like how a good, healthy community should. You want a plus 20 item, get a plus 19 item, and then pray you get the approximate 2% luck roll and don't get the full punish of resetting the item to plus 0. I marvel at the patience of people that play Phantasy Star Online 2. Ooh, well, that's good and ready to go. Your resources are consumed either way. Again, I marvel at the fucking patience of Phantasy Star Online 2 players with that kind of bullshit. That is some grade A 5 bullshit. Like, it is marbled bullshit. That is how bad this is. Scrutiny, Meticulous, Prosper. Lucky. Scrutiny, Meticulous. Wow! That's some luck right there. That was replaced with the Weapon EXP system, where you toss weapons in to gain Weapon EXP that raises the plus. Which is so much better. Just by that description alone, that is so much better. Also, on a weirdly similar note, the desynthesis system used to be a lot more strict. Which, you see this tiny little EXP bar behind my class's primary EXP bar? That is the class's desynthesis skill. Pay no mind to Alchemist. There are so few items that an Alchemist can actually desynthesize. It makes me wonder why the fuck that they have a desynthesis option. It makes me wonder why Culinarian has a desynthesis option, frankly. Because you desynthesize fish as a Culinarian. That's not even equipment. You just grab a fish and you're like, alright, time to rip you apart etherically. Oh, neat, some sand. And a water crystal. It's like, that poor fish, what the fuck? At least cook it, eat it. But that used to be that you could not desynthesize something unless your desynthesis skill met or exceeded that item's item level. Meaning, it was stupid hard as an alchemist to get any desynthesis skill, because that would require you to basically craft the items and then turn around and just desynthesize them. And you could only do it to equipment. And you know how few pieces of equipment that Alchemist makes? Anymore, they just make the books that Summoner and Scholar wield. I think every now and again, they also get to make the White Mage weapon. And even then, that's a crapshoot. That usually belongs to either Carpenter or Goldsmith anymore. You can also get desynthesis EXP by desynthesizing furniture, which is like the only other thing that alchemists can desynthesize. Like, it's bad. It's bad how few things alchemists can desynthesize. So if anybody brags about having a maxed out desynthesis for alchemist, one, ask them who hurt them, and two, ask them why. Because I kind of want to know. Because usually when you desynthesize, you're desynthesizing to hopefully get something out of it. There's a handful of exclusive materials that only come from desynthesis. These are demi-materia, specifically battlecraft and fieldcraft. There's master demi-materia, as well as one other type of demi-materia that only comes through desynthesis. For the most part, those aren't necessary anymore. Though they still come up from time to time when making specific types of equipment, usually for glamour purposes. Otherwise, you desynthesize to get a very tiny refund of the materials that you use to make that thing, or to get, like, materials that, like, would be used to make it. Okay, so we get... Ooh, hello! I mean, I have to spend my purple scripts as well, but, like... Ooh... I mean, oh, here we go. We could totally spend it on materia. Sweet jumpin' Jehovah's. Wait, only 500 per materia? That's actually incredibly reasonable. And 250 white to get gathering materia. Are there... Oh, son of a bitch, of course there is. Son of a biscuit, of course there is. What's my current item level? 560. Also, that's new. Usually blue gear doesn't have slots you can do that for. Like, okay, I normally don't get the first round of, like, all of this bullshit, because I like keeping my armory chest, like, relatively empty. But the second round of this bullshit always condenses it into a single set of items, which, this would absolutely make it unnecessary for me to make the base, item level 590 stuff. Or not 590, what item level is it? 590, actually. Because Gloves of Crafting, 356 and plus 9 CP, 356 plus 9 CP. The only difference is if I made this... Oh, wow, actually... They are functionally the same. The only difference is that if I made the item level 590 gear instead of purchase the item level 590 gear, I could actually pentameld this. I can't pentameld this, because it says Advanced Melding Forbidden. Ooh. I like this. I like this. This makes crafting approachable to people that don't want to spend millions of gil on the fucking market board to pentameld their gear. I'm gonna do it because I'm fucking insane. Pentameld? I wish I still had my current set of crafting gear, but I've since gotten rid of it because I'm in higher item level crafting gear. The best place to start looking at the shenanigans that involve pentamelding, yeah, are going to be all my accessories. So, do you see how one of these are red? So, the first one, the Craftsman's Cunning Materia 10, is blue. That means that materia occupies a normal materia slot for this piece of equipment. The red materia slot, the Craftsman's Command Materia 10, is over that base limit. So, what that basically means, to put it in layman's term, is I already filled the materia slot of this earring, and then I proceeded to just place another materia on it, and then hammer until it's stuck. And that admittedly explains both the process and the chance of failure. Because basically any slots above the basic number that piece of equipment has over the base is harder and harder to meld into, because you're forcing that piece of equipment to have more and more materia that it otherwise should not be able to support, conceivably speaking. And this can go all the way up to 5 materia on a single piece of equipment. Yes, even these earrings. And that is pentamelding. Now, the chances to meld beyond the first slot are something like, I think it's 17% chance to successfully meld. And then it becomes worse, and you can only do it for a grade below the highest grade, I think. But those odds become something like from 17 to 12, from 12 to 10, and then from 10 to like 7. I'd probably say at that point, the earrings are mostly materia. That would be accurate. For pieces of equipment that have like 2 base slots, the first slot over is 17, second slot over is like 12, and then the 5th and final slot on that is going to be like 10%. Like, you don't see the 7% on gear that have 2 slots base. You see the 7% when it's a gear that has 1 slot base. Now, if you really want to show off that you are Mr. Moneybags, you pentameld all of this side, and every single tool that you have a level 90 for. Because here's the thing, crafters don't share their tools, which means that is an extra 16 pieces of gear that you're pentamelding. You very rarely, if ever, need to do that. In fact, if you do that, you are min-maxing to all fucking hell, and you're also showing just how much fucking money you have to spend. Like, you do not, like, under most circumstances, need to do that. If you do that, your crafting is very easy, but also at what cost? Millions upon millions upon millions of gil. I was gonna say, I think everything under the sun, well, ooh, no, it goes up to 3. Does it go up to 4-star? Because there are currently 4-star crafts in the mixed. No. At least I believe there's 4-star crafts. Does it only go up to 3? It only goes up to 3 right now. Okay. What the fuck are the other ones used for? Wait, what? Oh, wait. Okay. I don't know if I get it. Okay, so this is for crafting tools. Crafting tools and shoes? What? This is for other crafting tools. And most weapons and helmets? And some accessories? Wait. Alright, these rules are confusing. What? Alright, use Moonlight Ether Sand to make... Okay, you use this mostly to make middle grade stuff, as well as... Oh, Jesus. Why are you putting Ether Sand into food? What? I don't know if I want to eat this Garlian pizza anymore. But this is primarily used for modern accessories and most everything else. Okay, so we can't just exclusively spend this all on there. Frustrating. Give me one moment. 1, I have to ponder, and 2, I also have to use the bathroom again. Sorry. And we're back. So I think I mostly need to see what all these make in the tools and crafting stuff department. So we'd require 2 there. I, for one, have zero desire to fucking pentameld my tools. So unless it becomes absolutely required, and at which point, if it did, I would just pick up more of these at a later date. Only worry about picking up the sands that I would need to make, like, yeah, that. Seems each one only needs one, so we'll pick up 4 of these. This one's the big one. Makes the most tools. Gloves and pants. Gloves, gloves, and pants. I think I already have 3 of this. So I'd only need 1 more. And this doesn't make anything that would be terribly useful. Tannish fiber requires... There we go. That's the tricky bit. This requires moonlight ether sand. And we only make 1 per. Ugh. Okay. So, sweet baby Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus! Oh, I see now. Okay, I think... I would want to confirm with the top, but seems like boots, gloves, and hat are all going to take 3. Yep. Then chest and pants take 4. Aha! That's enough for 1 left side, plus a hat, a glove, or a boot for the other one. I'm gonna want a lot more moonlight ether sand, aren't I? I'm gonna spend my purples. How do I want to spend my... I could buy a bunch of more high cordials. Yeah, we'll buy more high cordials. That is like the one thing that, like, spending your white scripts on for the gathering side is fine. And I would personally encourage it, because high cordials are the best way to maximize how much GP you get. You can craft the normal kind of cordial, which is this, and high quality it, but only restores 350 per every 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Versus this, which does 400 every 3 minutes. Spend your scripts. Buy the high cordials. Don't craft high quality cordials. You thank me. You will thank me later. Now for the rest of these, now that we've got our mischief managed. I also definitely see for a time Moonlight Ether Sand is going to be in high demand on the market board. In fact, I believe out of all the sands I've picked up, that one was the most expensive when I was crafting something for my friend. Which should not be too surprising. That is the one that requires the most supply and arguably is going to have the most demand. Because the normal way to gather any of the ether sand is to find a specific kind of collectible. Which is probably going to be either the Prime Siderite or Sublime Siderite. If I had to guess. Because usually you need to have, like, the regional folklore for that area, and it has to be a collectible. Of course, I might be horribly wrong. It seems I am horribly wrong. Prime and Sublime collectibles. Interesting. A new gathering mechanic that I was not aware of. Neat. For the most part, I've gotten my mischief managed here in Final Fantasy XIV. Note, I say for the most part. Like, I could technically stand to do Alliance raids. I could stand to do the main scenario quest. There's lots of things I could stand to do. But frankly, I'm just glad I got my healers out of the way. I'm also five raw emotions of continuing work on this bad boy, the Augmented Laws Orders Knuckle. Which that will be nice to actually progress with one of my 3, now technically 4 relic weapons. 50, 60, 80. Oh yeah, I skipped the 71. Well, the 71 also has a whole set of armor that goes with it. And the armor is for the roll, so melee DPS, both strength and dexterity based, as well as both heavy and light armor variants for the strength based. Because you gotta understand that Dragoons wear their own armor separate from Samurai and fucking monks. Ranged DPS, that being between casters and archers, tanks, and healers. So there's like fucking... there's 6 total sets of armor. 3 for melee DPS, 1 for physical ranged, 1 for magical ranged. Oh god, no, it's 7. Ah! That's so much! And then at the time, that was a Stormblood expansion, so there's going to be relic weapons for Warrior, Paladin, Dark Knight, White Mage, Scholar, Astrologian, Bard, Machinist, Monk, Dragoon, Ninja, Samurai, Black Mage, Summoner, and Red Mage. So Reaper, Dancer, Gunbreaker, and Sage would not be included in this. Because Sage and Reaper came out this expansion, Gunbreaker and Dancer came out in Shadowbringers. That's a lot of relic weapons, and it's also tied to a whole ass, like, instance. Which I missed the bus on that one, so it's kind of hard to do it anymore. Not that I'm really interested in doing it. But baby if I did. Oh, baby if I did. Alright, my voice is giving out. Plus, I have run out of things to do, so I will hang out in my garden. Or rather, the Free Company garden. It's not mine. I'm not even the richest Free Company member. I don't even think I've given the most gil into the Free Company chest, to be perfectly honest. So I do know a good chunk of that money is mine. Let's find somebody to raid. After I get distracted by Twitter. I don't know who that is. Ah, okay. One of those bot graphic artists. Us goes all raid Tom Fox. Out of those that I am aware of, he is the one streaming something that I wouldn't mind watching for a bit. Because there's multiple people streaming Sonic Frontiers, and I don't want spoilers. Because I do actually want to play Frontiers to find out what the hubbub is. So Tom Fox it is. Who's playing Among Us. In VR. Don't get motion sick. I have tomorrow off. I might stream tomorrow for funsies. We'll see. It's also Veterans Day, so at least here in the United States. If you got plans, go do your plans. Otherwise, folks, thank you very much for hanging out and sticking around to the very end of the stream. I appreciate it. I still think Final Fantasy XIV is really fun. There's etiquette that I whine and bitch about. I could maybe bring up my gripes a little bit more often, but I'm also working on not always being right and letting people play the game as they want to. So, if you play with me, I will probably be griping about your playstyle, but you're fine. I promise you're fine. I only take personal umbrage, and it's such a mild gripe that, like, for the most part, unless you step way the fuck out of line, in which case I am definitely going to bring it up. You know, like DPS, pulling mobs. To me, the tank, don't do that. Don't, otherwise I'll let you tank. Anyway, folks, please remember that you're always welcome here at Mana's Potion, and I will see you next time. Go enjoy Among Us, but don't get motion sick.